Dark Angels were the first of the Legiones Astartes, pioneering many of the techniques that other legions would adopt. The Emperor entrusted them with special weapons and technology that were not given to any other legion, enabling them to take down some of the most dangerous enemies mankind has faced. They were not builders of empires or conquerors, and those who review their actions during the Great Crusade would observe fewer campaigns compared to their fellow legions. The reason for the deep trust in the First Legions and the effectiveness of the Dark Angels during the early Great Crusade is significant. As the Terran Wars concluded, the Emperor created the Primarchs, who were his leading generals, and the Legiones Astartes, which were their armies. These Primarchs, the result of the Emperor's genetic experiments, experienced a setback as fate or chaos scattered them across the galaxy. Nevertheless, the Emperor created the Astartes using genetic samples of the Primarchs. Only a few survived the rigorous initial process, but over time it was refined, leading to the formation of the First Legion. The first recruits of the First Legion came from the Nations of Terra, chosen during the Unification Wars. They looked for only the best candidates from various regions and diverse backgrounds. This mix was unified through processes and training they underwent, leading them to forge strong bonds. The name they carried would be dropped to replace with one that suited the Legion, resulting in a group that excelled in multiple aspects of warfare. The First Legion served as a test ground for other Astartes, helping create the Principia Bellicosa, a guide for tactics and organisation that shaped the other legions. The first recorded mentions of the Space Marines were of grey-clad enhanced warriors, fighting alongside the Thunder Warriors, the earlier gene-enhanced armies of the Emperor that were strong but unstable. The First Legion transitioned from these Thunder Warriors, rumoured to have executed the last of them as they paved the way for the new armies of the Emperor. During the Unification Wars, the First Legion earned the title of the Uncrowned Princes, reflecting their superior status over the other troops. However, this status would foster arrogance. Detailed records of their greatest achievements were often lost or hidden, making their actions shrouded in mystery. In these early days, the Legion chose secrecy over honour, resulting in them gaining a semi-legendary status as the Emperor's Angels. The First Legion, seen as synonymous with death, adopted the Icarium symbol, which represented death itself, incorporating it into their sigils and ornaments. While other legions were forming, the First Legion faced some of the worst threats within the Sol system, combating various horrors, Xenos creatures, and inhuman beasts. They cleaned out the remaining human outposts and guarded remote areas while earning new orders focused on Pacific War aspects. As the Great Crusade commenced, the First Legion was equipped with newly created ships and advanced weaponry. They received ancient vessels and weapons from previous eras, allowing them to leverage technologies unknown to other legions. Tasked with eliminating the most significant threats to mankind, their successes were often overlooked as the foes they fought were too horrifying or unimportant to the Imperium's interest. The early structure of the First Legion was complex, consisting of various hosts and councils. They established their home on the planet of Grammar and formed several specialised groups. The Host of Crowns consisted of elite vanguard warriors, while the Host of Blades became the main infantry. The Host of the Void mastered shipboard and void warfare, leading to developments in Legion tactics. Each member of the First Legion belonged to an order, focusing on different war aspects. For example, the Order of the Argent Spire prepared for battles in harsh, icy terrains. They shared lessons learned, such as the Iron Wing Protocol for operating armoured units. However, one of their attempts to integrate battle psychers within the Legion faced challenges, leading to insights that would be valuable for the formation of future librarians within the Legion. The First Legion fought challenges across the universe, including battles against monstrous entities and technological threats. Details about how many of these encounters are often lost or unreported. As they fought alongside the Emperor and his custodies, they developed a sense of superiority over other legions. The more they saw their fellow legions receiving accolades, the more their arrogance grew, leading them to pursue reckless campaigns purely for glory. As newer legions like the Ultramarines approached their strength, the First Legion became more cautious and secretive. They hoarded knowledge and became stagnant, believing they had reached the height of warfare. This marked a shift from mentoring other legions to looking down on them for their conquests. Disaster struck on Cuppalore when the First Legion underestimated an alien foe, leading to heavy losses. Grandmaster Frame led a final assault with devastating consequences. This moment revealed cracks in the Legion's pride as they faced reality of defeat. Following the crisis, changes in the leadership were proposed, concluding with a selection of a Grandmaster from outside the inner circle, indicating a shift in their rigid structure. The First Legion, now under new leadership, was determined to reclaim its former status through aggressive campaigns. However, these came at great costs, leading to hollow victories as they lost a significant number of Space Marines. In their conquest for glory, they splintered, each division seeking its recognition among the stars. The Primarch of the First Legion, Lionel Johnson, would be discovered on the world of Caliban, a place with dark forest and elite warriors. The Emperor arrived on the new world with 500 warriors, marking the beginning of a new era. After defeating the company captain, The Primarch named his new warriors the Dark Angels, a name that became their official title. There was tension among the Council of Masters as they wrestled with feelings of shame and pride due to their long time without a Primarch. While some sought forgiveness on the Lion, others chose to re-engage in battle. The Lion was confident and focused. His characteristics reflected in his gene sons, making him secretive and purpose-driven. He worked to gather a formidable force of 100,000 warriors, along with Pyrrhus Gallicat as his master of the host. The Lion reorganised the structure of the Dark Angels by merging their traditions with those of Caliban, creating a refined and powerful legion. This integration included older knights, like his adopted father Luther, who risked dangerous augmentations instead of the standard gene seed implantation. The legion's aesthetic also changed, introducing a dark green armour symbols reflecting their new homeworld. The Dark Angels adopted a unique iconography, causing different Space Marines to have distinct armour combinations. Following a costly conflict, they faced Aranda, requiring the help of other legions to defend against the Xenos threat. Over 2 decades, they incurred heavy losses in the battle, leading to a bittersweet victory. The Legion formalised their orders in the style of Caliban's knightly traditions, generating friction among veterans and new recruits. The Lion enforced strict trials, only promoting those most suitable. Though they did not participate in many Legion events like the Triumph of Ulanor, the Dark Angels began to fight alongside other legions, including at the Siege of Mycana. They utilised advanced technology to overcome their formidable defences, contrasting sharply with their aggressive tactics used elsewhere. Their complex organisational structure remained in place, allowing for diverse tactics, and included the formation of the Six Wings tailored to different combat styles. As the Horus Heresy approached, the Dark Angels were stretched thin, scattered across the galaxy with only 80,000 warriors available when they received word of the rebellion. Despite this, the Legion adapted, conducting surprise attacks that disrupted the traitor's supply lines. This response was bolstered by ancient technologies the Dark Angels possessed, which were superior to those of other legions. The Dark Angels engaged in the Framas campaign against the Night Lords, utilising strengths of their various wings effectively. The Dark Angels were equipped with rare and powerful weapons, enabling them to outmatch their foes, leading to a definitive victory despite heavy losses. Their ability to strike at multiple locations at once made it challenging for the enemy to counter them effectively. Despite their absence during key events, the First Legion played a crucial role in the broader Imperial forces, and their secrecy was an advantage rather than a liability. They were initially the largest legion before the Horus Heresy, but their forces were divided due to various campaigns. After the Heresy and the destruction of Caliban, led by Luther's jealousy, the Dark Angels faced a devastating internal conflict, culminating a duel between Luther and the Lion that resulted in Caliban's destruction. Following these events, the Dark Angels were divided into chapters, but retained their legacy. They remained the Emperor's trust, embodying the first in rank, numbers, and belief as the Emperor's Angels of Death.